We are constantly living in the future. What I am right now is not enough. I'm lacking something. The thing that we have lived with for as long as we can remember will die. And that's going to be scary. It's going to feel like dying. We will find our true authenticity, our full authentic potential, optimal power. And so if we want to find true fulfillment, if we want to learn to be, if we want to learn to not be so stressed, that is the only way. Why is it so hard to surrender? Why can we not just allow ourselves to give up every once in a while? How hard is it going to be? We're always stuck in this mode of doing. I need to do something. There's something to do. And even when I work with my clients, they ask me, okay, so now when I come to this sensation of peace, when I arrive at this, when I have learned to feel free, when I have learned to feel more peaceful, when I have learned to not suffer as much, what do I do then? There's nothing to do. Just, we are so conditioned to doing all the time. I need to do something. I need to make my life work. I need to work hard. I need to become something all the time. And it's valid. It's valid to want to become something. I want to become something as well, but I'm not expecting myself to magically become something more than what I already am whenever I have achieved whatever I want to achieve or become. I am that already. When we're stuck in a mindset of doing, it will always come at an expense that something is missing from a life. And the reason it's so hard to surrender that is because that's what we know. We don't know anything else than that. We say to ourselves that I never surrender. I never give up. I know, and that's fine. I used to think the same way. But with that, there's so much resistance to life all the time. We resist life. And when we are stuck in the mindset of I need to do, I can't rest, I can rest when I'm dead, and all of those things that we tell ourselves, right? We're not living here and now. We are constantly living in the future. What I am right now is not enough. I'm lacking something. But the future will be enough whenever I have done enough, whenever I'm done doing. But the doing will never be enough. That's the problem. We will constantly chase the next thing. The next shiny thing is the thing that will give me lasting fulfillment. And I see the rationale of it. I see the logic. Well, I can't just surrender. I have bills to pay. It's like, I know that. I know we all have bills to pay. And I'm not saying that surrender is just sitting down on the couch and not doing anything and becoming inactive. Not at all. It's the complete opposite of that. We actually do so much better when we surrender because we enter a state of being. We are being with the thing that we are doing. We're being one with it. We're being present with it. We're not expecting a certain outcome. And so with surrender, what I mean with that is that we detach from the outcome of the specific thing. We stop expecting ourselves to become something extraordinary once we have done, or once we have achieved everything we want to achieve. We stop expecting ourselves, I'm going to be Kimmen 2.0 whenever I have achieved all my dreams. And so yes, it's true that we need to pay the bills, but when we surrender, that means that we allow everything to be exactly as it is. And when we learn to allow everything to be exactly as it is, deep stillness appears in our life. Deep stillness and deep peace. And we align ourselves with reality. Everything that we think that we want to achieve in doing will most likely realign itself, and we will create more meaning towards the things we want to pursue. Instead of thinking that I need to pay the bills, we will tune ourselves into a more peaceful state of ourselves, which will attract everything so much better. We will become a magnet to life when we surrender. And people will be more drawn to us as well. They will want to know our secret. What have you done? I haven't done anything. I've done the opposite of that. How do you do that? You don't do. You just be. And we fear this. The reason we fear surrendering so much Because if you ask someone, why don't you give up? I can never give up. I can't do that. It's like, why can't we do that? Why are we so scared of giving up control? It's because when we surrender, we enter the unknown. Because the mind will always want to project itself into the future or into the past. It's like, I want my life to look this way, or I need my life to look this way, and I need to do these things to keep my life from ending up here. This cannot happen. But do you see how this creates a sense of certainty? I know where I'm going. I know what my life is going to be like. And so that's why we're so scared of surrendering, because we, as humans, naturally fear the unknown. We do not like not knowing what's going to happen. We do not like that at all. We're scared of that, deeply scared. That's why we fear death, actually. We fear death because we are scared of the unknown. We fear death because we believe that this thing that we have created for ourselves by doing, this person that we have become, will die. And it's true, this person that we have become will die, but there's something that will live on. And so when we learn to surrender, this thing of, I always need to do something, I need to become this person, I need to look this way, I need to have this amount of money, I need to do all the time. This behavior in us will die. And that's why it's so scary to surrender, because this doing aspect of our own mind, the thing that we have lived with for as long as we can remember, will die. And that's going to be scary. It's going to feel like dying. It's going to feel like someone is pulling the rug under our feet. But if we can learn to just familiarize ourselves with that fear, it's like, okay, if I surrender here, if I let go of the resistance, if I allow reality to come and enter my heart, if I allow things to be exactly as they are, and I do that repeatedly, there's going to be fear. Oh, okay, fear. Oh, okay, I'm going to stop. Someone is pulling the rug under my feet. But we do that repeatedly. It's like putting in the reps, and we familiarize ourselves with that fear of surrender, of letting go of control, of giving up. The more we do that, the more comfortable we will be, and the more we will familiarize ourselves with that fear, and the deeper we can go into the surrender. And I can tell you that the deeper we go into the surrender, by learning to be exactly as we are, we will find everything that we have always wanted. We will find our true authenticity, our full authentic potential, optimal power. And when we just allow that to shine through, it's like that is the best feeling in the world. Nothing beats that. Everything that we are seeking in everything that we are doing is that which comes forward when we surrender. That is the exact thing that we are seeking. We are seeking different sensations. Let's say that I want to have beers with the boys, or it's like I know that it's completely fine to want to have fun and all that. We should have fun. I'm not saying that. But what we're striving for in the doing, I want this business, I want this house, I want this amount of money. What we think that is going to give us, that's what I'm talking about. That is what shines through. It starts to shine through when we learn to just surrender. And I know that the mind will always be skeptical to it. The mind will always try and talk yourself out of surrender. The mind will always say, what do I do now? Oh, you can't rest. Get up. Don't be lazy. You need to do something. Because the mind is so conditioned to do. The mind is incapable of looking in the direction of surrender and what is going to come from surrender. Because the mind, like I said, will die. The mind will create fear. The mind will think thoughts such as, I'm going to go crazy, I'm losing my mind, I'm going to die, I need to do something. Or it will create desires coming in so that it keeps us from entering this surrendered state. But like I said, when we do, our full authentic power shines through, and in that, true abundance in life happens. True abundance. I am perfect, just as I am. I am complete. I am whole. Nothing is missing. And if we want to keep doing, which is valid, but if we want to keep doing, it will come at an expense that something is missing. Something is not quite right. all the time. And we will create more resistance to life. We will think that happiness is in the future somewhere. And we will be on this never-ending chase in life. Never at rest, never at peace, never content. Always doing. Always the next thing is the thing. And it's interesting because when we learn to drop the doing, when we learn to drop this behavior of the doing of the person, we actually start looking at ourselves in a different way. We find so much more space inside of ourselves, and we find so much more space in reality. And it's almost like we recognize ourselves in other people as well. It's like, I am you and you are me, and I know what you're doing. You're doing. But I know what your struggles are. I see your suffering. I see that you're on this chase. I can relate to it. But wake up. If this sounds interesting to you, if you want to awaken, if you want to learn to surrender more, then click the first link in my description and apply for my coaching. Maybe we can work together. But I just want to, when I see someone stressed, and I see someone anxious and worried and in a lot of suffering and struggling with depression, we don't have to suffer. We don't have to. It's as simple as just allowing everything to be exactly as it is for enough time for us to see that truth that I'm so distracted. I'm so distracted. I'm looking externally for my own completion all the time. I'm thinking that whatever I'm lacking, I feel like something is missing, and I will find this missing piece in the external world. How is this supposed to happen? It's not going to happen. And we will never be done doing in this way. This missing piece, we will die trying to find this piece in the external world. And we will be stuck in this chase of doing. And the only way to find true fulfillment and completion is to learn how to surrender. And yes, it's going to be scary. There's going to be fear there. But like any other challenge or any other thing that we want to do, there's going to be fear because it's outside of our comfort zone. But this thing with lasting fulfillment and peace and happiness, it can only be found on the inside when we learn to not do, when we learn to drop the doing. When we learn to face that fear and familiarize ourselves with that fear of dying, of that version of ourselves dying. And so if we want to find true fulfillment, if we want to learn to be, if we want to learn to not be so stressed, that is the only way to go inward and find out, why do I always feel like something is missing? What do I think I can achieve through doing? When will my achievements finally bring me lasting fulfillment and happiness? When will I finally be able to sit down and be like, okay, I can rest here. I'm done. I'm perfect. Isn't that what we all long for all the time? Just that sensation of, okay, perfect. Nothing more. Going nowhere. That is what we all want, right? And the only way for us to find that is to surrender. But, like I said, the mind will always be skeptical to it because the mind will always be looking externally for the solution to the problems that we face. And the fact is that when we learn to surrender, the problems that we face, we will realize that they are just thoughts. They have nothing to do with ourselves. Nothing to do with ourselves. They might be tied to situations that we have to solve, but we realize that with or without that problem, I'm still the same me. I'm still me looking out through my eyes. And I have always been that, and I will always be that. Until I die, and then I will merge with the all again. Thank you for watching to the end. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.